I mean, it's a different mindset, obviously. Paying attention to detail, being locked in to the game plan, and just everybody being on the same accord. I feel like we had a great week this week of not only working on stuff to play against the rivals, but just ourselves in general. And we had some great practice.
Is there anything in particular that Brian was kind of emphasizing? I know that JJ talked about having super hyper-focus. How do you feel like that's been translating to the practice that you guys have had this week?
It's been great. Like I said, the level of focus, attention to details, the communication, everything has been elevated. We got a lot of guys that's been in the playoffs and know what it takes. Like you said, everything elevates around this time. And I think that's the beauty of having a veteran group that's kind of been there and had a taste of the playoffs. So we all know what it takes, to win games in the playoffs. So it's everybody going out there to do their job and paying attention to the game plan.
The competition of your guys' team has been forced to change after Luka and Arrow came back to injuries. And they both played in those 2 games in Houston. How has Houston changed since then, knowing both of you guys have changed? They went on that 7-win run at the end of the season. How have you guys seen them change since you guys played them, but also knowing you guys are going to be different in this series as well?
Like I said, they finished the season well. I think us playing them back-to-back in Houston, it was kind of like a mini playoff series. So us being able to go in there, both teams being able to adjust from the first game and kind of throw punches back and forth. So it's going to be similar in this series. Guys, both teams going to have their best game plan to start game 1, and whoever forces the other team to adjust first, or whoever sets the physicality to set the tone early, I think that plays a big part in how the rest of the series is going to go. Obviously we have a new look team right now, but I think we have guys on the team that's more than capable of doing their job and stepping up, and we still got a lot of dogs and a lot of veterans on this team. So like I said, I think we have more than enough still to go out there and compete.
JJ used the word elevate as well. For you and your role right now in this team, like, how do you elevate yourself going into the playoffs?
I would say just the preparation. I think for me, not only for myself, but also for the unit as well. Being that voice, being that guy, whether it's on the defensive end, blocking into the game plan, making sure everybody's on the same page, and most of it just mental. Making sure everybody's head straight and everybody's on the same page. I think that's the biggest part going here, just the preparation. Everybody being prepared, and I think the coaches have done a good job. Players have done a good job as well, making sure everybody's on the same page, and being prepared.
I would imagine part of the assignment of defending KD was on your shoulders as well. What's it like defending him? What does it take to try to slow him down?
It takes everybody. I would say it won't be one guy's assignment. He's a hell of a talent. We've seen what he can do in playoff settings. So, like I said, it'll be a group assignment. Every time he's on the floor, everybody has to have their head on the swivel, and he's pretty much the most dangerous person on their team. So it'll be all hands on deck. It'll be everybody.
They're a great rebounding team. Is that something that throughout the course of the game you all have to kind of talk about? Remind one another, even maybe bark at each other sometimes, like make sure your back part locks down, make sure you're crashing that glass, because it's so ingrained in them, and it wasn't one of your strengths this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that we've been harping on all week. It's going to be a big part of the game, especially offensive rebounds. Sometimes those are momentum swingers, they're game changers. So trying to limit them on the glass and just making sure everybody out there boxing out and putting the body on somebody. Obviously, we've harped on it all week, but during the game, we see it happen, and guys got to be able to take accountability and take constructive criticism and be able to move on and execute the next play. But that's a big point of emphasis for us right now. Rebounding, boxing out, putting bodies on bodies, and it's going to be a physical series. I said the team that sets the tone first and initiates the contact. They set the rules, set the tones for the series. So I think for us, going out there and being the one that hit first instead of retaliating, I think that'll be a big difference for us.
Vander, when it comes to that, setting the tone, being the one to hit first, what does that look like? What are the indicators that we're doing that first and they're not doing that first?
One of them is on the glass. I think picking up, whether it's full court or just contesting everything, contesting shots, contesting passes, everything, making it hard. They got certain spots they want to get to, KD, the rest of the plays, where they start their plays, being able to push them out and, just make it tough on them every time they're on the floor, for everybody. Whoever's bringing the ball up, whoever's passing the ball, pushing them out of their spot. So, leaving up no layups or it's a hard foul, or just being physical. No give them no wide open layups. You know, it's playoffs, so being able to set the tone. You know, the refs gonna play accordingly to how the game is going. So I think that'll be one of our advantages if we set the tone.
And how do you maintain that intensity if Houston starts to go on a run, you guys start to go on a run? How do you maintain that level of intensity and setting the tone throughout the entire game?
It's the playoffs. I mean, the stage is already set, so I mean, the intensity is already high. You know, it's the moments we dream for, we live for as a professional basketball player. So to me, the intensity never goes away. Obviously, teams go on runs, they might punch you in the mouth, but you got to be able to respond. But yeah, like I said, the intensity should always be up, especially with this group of guys that we have, and you know, our end goal. I think the level is always high for us.
Does this series give you an added level of excitement playing the Rockets going home, or is it pretty much just the same as every other series?
I mean, it's my first time going home for the playoffs, so you know, certain family members haven't been able to see me or you know travel out here to watch a playoff game, so that'd be dope to be able to experience that with them. But as far as the actual game itself, I'm preparing like any other playoff series. You know, the goal doesn't change, the assignment doesn't change, so yeah.
Thanks,